Hello, Algebra. Today we are moving on to 2.4, parallel and perpendicular lines. When we think about parallel lines are two lines that does not intersect. So you want to think of those L's like a railroad track. These two lines are never going to cross. Regular lines, they have one intersection, they might cross over. Perpendicular lines, they intersect, and when they intersect in that one point, they're going to form right angles. So those are perpendicular lines. Parallel lines will never cross, and other lines will just cross one time. All right, so if we're looking at the slopes of parallel lines, we're going to find that they have the same slope. Their slope is equal. A over B is equal to A over B. If we're looking at the lines for perpendicular lines, their slopes are going to be opposite and reciprocals. Opposite signs and reciprocal, the flip. So A over B would be changed to negative B over A if they are perpendicular lines. If you had 3 over 5, then the opposite would be negative, and then the B would be on top, 5 over 3. 3 over 5 and negative 5 over 3, they are opposite reciprocals. If I had negative 3/4, then the opposite of the negative would be positive, and that would be 4 over 3. So these are opposite signs and the reciprocal. So they're always going to ask you to do some combination of stuff. They want you to write the equation of a line that's going to be parallel to this particular line, and it goes through this point. And they want you to write it in slope-intercept form. So now we want to think, what does slope-intercept form look like? Well, that's y equals mx plus b. That I know. What two things do I need for slope-intercept? I'm going to need the slope, and I'm going to need the y-intercept. That's the same thing we've been talking about for about a week and a half now, right? So if I want this line that is parallel to this particular line, I need to note that the slope of this line is 3/4. So because the slope of this line is 3/4, parallel line will be the same slope, the slope of my new line. Let me call this old and then new. My new line is still going to be 3/4 because they're the same. And the y-intercept I need to know. However, be careful. I don't want the y-intercept of that line. I want the y-intercept of the line that goes through that point. So now I know that the slope of my line is going to be 3/4. And I know that the coordinate they gave me is 8, 9. That's what I'm working with to find the equation in slope-intercept form. So now I go back to what I know, x1, y1. My y is equal to mx plus b. My y is 9. My slope is 3/4. The x I have is 8. And I'm looking for the y-intercept, which is b. 3/4 times 8 is like saying 3 over 4 times 8 over 1. So that 9 is equal to 24 over 6 over 4, which is 6, plus b. So 9 is equal to 6 plus b. Then I would minus 6 on both sides so that my 3 is my y-intercept. So for the new line, my slope is 3/4 and the y-intercept is 3. So my equation is y equals 3/4 x plus 3. This is the equation of the line that's parallel to that original line. Again, it's like saying here I had a line. My y-intercept was -2, up 3 over 4, up 3 over 4. Boom. I want the line parallel to that line that goes through 8, 9. So now I know that the y-intercept will be at 3. And then that line is going to look something like that, even though they kind of look like they'll cross. Let's look at number 2. For number 2, they want the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this particular line, and it must go through that point, and it's in point slope form. So they tell me they have a line pretty much. This is at positive 11, negative line going down, and they want a line that's going to be perpendicular to that goes through that particular point. So now they want it in point slope form. Well, what is point slope form? That's y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And so for point slope form, I need two things. I need the slope and I need the point. Well, I know the point because they told me it has to be perpendicular to this line and through the point 1, 7. So I already have the point. All I need is the slope. Well, if the slope is perpendicular to this line, the slope of this current line is negative 1/4. So the new slope is going to be opposite and the reciprocal. The opposite sign will make it positive, and this reciprocal will make it 4/1. So the new slope is 4. The slope that you're looking for is 4, and it's going through that point. Well, in point slope form, this tends to be easier now. I just got to pop it in. So my answer is y is equal to, not y equal to, sorry, y minus y1, which is 7, is equal to m, which is 4, parentheses, x minus x1, which is 1. And there you have it in point slope form. We have to know what they're asking and give them pretty much everything that they want and the correct form that they want it in. All right, so we come on down and they want you to tell whether the graph of the equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So parallel, same slope, perpendicular, opposite reciprocal, or neither. It doesn't match. So I look at number 1, y is equal to mx plus b. I could tell the slope from that form. My slope is going to be 2. The second one, f of x is the same as y. So y is equal to 1/2 x plus 6. I could tell the slope again here. The slope is negative 1/2. Well, 2 is like 2/1. Positive, negative, 2/1, 1/2. Ooh, opposite reciprocals. So these two lines are going to be perpendicular. Let's look at number 2. Number 4. Y is equal to negative 5x. This looks like y equals mx plus b. Your b is 0, and I could tell that the slope is in front of the x, so that my m is negative 5. If I look at the second one, I should notice that it's in standard form, and I can't tell the slope from standard form. I can only tell the slope from two forms, slope-intercept and point slope, because both of those have the word slope in them. Standard has no word slope. I cannot tell slope from standard form. As such, I need to rework that standard form into a form that I do know I can get the x from, the slope from, plus 5y is equal to 1. So let me try to get this into slope-intercept form, because that I do know. I could minus 25x on both sides, so that 5y is equal to negative 25x plus 1. And then I could get y by itself by dividing by 5. So I have to work for this. And y is equal to negative 5x plus 1/5. Now that I have this in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, I can tell the m, the slope, is negative 5. So my slope for the second line is negative 5. Now I can see, oh, they're the same. That means that these two lines are parallel. And that's my answer. Let's look at this one. Ooh, this is a funny one. All right. y equals 1/2. There's no x here. Y equals a number. That's a fancy line, right? X or y. That means that the y must go through the 1/2, and it's a horizontal line. No rise, no run. This is a special line. This is a zero slope. And in the next case, y is equal to -3, down here, going straight through. They won't intersect because it's also a zero slope. Same slope, they are parallel. I want you to go ahead and try number 6. Pause and try, see if you could find the slope for each of them, and then compare it. All right, now that you're back, we should have paused. I see that my second line is in point slope form. Because this is in point slope form, I can easily tell the slope is right there. And my slope is -5/2. So the first one, though, the form is standard. I can't tell the slope from that form. So I'm going to have to work for it. So -2x plus 5y is equal to -4. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So that 5y is equal to 2x minus 4. Then I would divide both sides by 5, and y is equal to 2/5 x minus 4/5. All right, so I know that this slope is 2/5. Well, I'm going from 2/5 positive to -5/2. They're opposite and the reciprocal. Oh, these two lines are going to be perpendicular. That's how I can tell. Sometimes you have to work for it and sometimes you don't. All right, so now lastly, we are going to, oh, this is a fun one. We're going to write the equation of a line that is parallel to the line that contains both those points and, contains point that and that, but passes through the points 4, 3. Is that a but? Write an equation of a line parallel to the line that contains those points but passes through 4 points. Okay. So, doesn't tell me what form. Oh, so we have choices. Because it doesn't tell me what form. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and put this in standard form. All right, so let's go. If I want to put something in standard form, there's no real way to get at it from here, right? But I want the equation of a line parallel to the line that contains those 2 points. Well, from 2 points, we can work miracles. If I want it, even in standard form, I have to pass through maybe slope-intercept form. I like that one. That's my bestie. So I'm going to have to first find the slope, get the intercept, and then I'm going to move things around. So let's see. I have 0, 4, and 2, 3. Step first, 2 points. Let's find the slope. Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So that the slope is -1 divided by 2. So my slope is -1/2. Because the equation of the line is parallel to this, I don't need to change it. This is the slope I'm using. So now I know my slope, which is -1/2, and the point I'm using is 4, 3. You could do 2 things. You could go to point slope form, or you could go to slope intercept form. Doesn't matter. You'll have to decide. So I'm going to go to slope intercept because that's my bestie. I like it. That's my x and y. So I start by writing the equation, y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to substitute the y, the m, which is -1/2, the x, which is 4, and I'm looking for the y-intercept. So that 3 is equal to -1/2 times 4, which is 2, -2, -2. plus b. Then I would add 2 to both sides. So that 5 is my y-intercept. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Negative 1/2 x. Oh, I do know what x is. Sorry, I was trying to my eraser. X is 4. So it's 3 is equal to negative 2 plus b. And I add 2. Just trying to squish it in. Anyway, your y-intercept is 5. So now that I know my slope is negative 1/2 and my y-intercept is 5, I'm going to go ahead and write this in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 5. But I don't want it in slope-intercept form. I want it in standard form. Now I have to go ahead and move some things around to get it there. So I'm going to add 1/2 x to both sides, making sure it goes in the front so that I have 1/2 x plus y that's equal to 5. I'm all good. It does look like ax plus by equals c, but this is a fraction and not a whole number. If I'm going to put it in standard form, my a term does need to be positive and a whole number. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 2. And now I get x plus 2y, and that's equal to 10. Yay! In standard form. We did it. This is your notes for parallel and perpendicular lines. Remember, in order to learn mathematics, we must do the mathematics. Ta-ta.